Hello everyone, this is Bonnie from Bonnie's Bargains. Thank you for joining me today. Today is going to be a celebration of the red, white, and blue collab with Bootsie on the beat, Mary Catherine Loves Cats, and my channel, Bonnie's Bargains. We all will have a giveaway at the end of the collab. So when we touched base with each other, we discussed, what do we want to do for this collab? And the very first thing that all of us thought about was, of course, Memorial Day. We decided that we would purchase 5 things at the Dollar Tree, which would make us think of Memorial Day, the colors of the red, white, and blue. And also talk about what does Memorial Day mean to us. Well, guys, you're going to hear a lot of I today, and you will understand when I get into what does Memorial Day mean to me. I worked for the U.S. government for 30 years, and because of the type of jobs I did, the career moves I made, I got to travel all over the world, and I worked with the military and I worked with the civilians. I had military bosses, I had civilian bosses. So to start out, when I first started working for the military, the first thing I had to do was take a pledge to the U.S. government, and I was very proud. I did not have my dad had went to the Army, and he had to be pulled out of the Army early to work in the fields at his mother and father's home. My grandmother had 13 children. So that was before my dad and mom was married. And so I really never knew anything about the military. But then as soon as I started working for the military, the first thing I learned was, okay, at the end of the day, at some of the bases, I don't know if it's at all the bases, most of the bases, when you hear taps, at the end of the day, it was played every day at the same time. And no matter if you were outside, you had to stop, face the flagpole and the flag wherever it was, direction it was in. And while taps was being played, the flag came down. And so the civilians, of course, would put their hand over their heart, and the military would salute. And it was a very touching moment for me. And every day, I worked long hours at every job I ever had. And sometimes I would be inside the building when taps started playing, or sometimes I'd be walking to my car. But when I was outside and I put my hand over my heart, it really gave you time to reflect and hear taps. Until this day, when I hear anything to do with America, any of the songs, taps, I always have a tear in my eye. I mean, I can't even go to an event when they play anything to do with America. I always have a tear going down my eye. I am just very sentimental. But I spent so much time with the military and the civilians, and it was such an honor to work with them. But again, to honor our flag, I've always honored our flag, always, and always will. And I can imagine the men and women for Memorial Day, thinking about them losing their lives for us and for our freedom. The second thing, I was honored to greet soldiers that returned to their families after war. I remember that big bird flying in and landing and all the soldiers departing the plane, and then all of a sudden all the wives, husbands, mothers, children, they were just running up to them and hugging them and crying and just holding on to them. And I remember it was sort of like, I guess you would call just a greeting party. We were in a big hangar, and I had my American flag and I was waving it, and I had my sign, welcome home. I was shaking it, and I couldn't help but cry, because I thought about all of those that didn't come home from the war. And so when you see these type of things and you're actually there, you don't hear about it, but you actually see it, it's things that will be ingrained in your memory bank forever, ever. And I have to tell you, all my coworkers, some were retired military. When I retired, I was honored with this, and I'll have to show it to you because there's a saying on there etched in from Thomas Jefferson. And I was also honored, excuse me, with a flag that's in the triangle box. But I thought this was enough to show today, because I have this hanging in my office downstairs. And so when I'm down there, I look at it every single day. The red, the white, and the blue, and what it means to me, and what I hope it means to you. Because I understood when those men and women got off those planes that freedom is definitely not free. If you just could have seen the children so excited about seeing their mom and dad, or either little babies that had never even seen their mom or dad. Yes. I was also chosen as a civilian to attend Officers Squadron School in Montgomery, Alabama. And my squadron was all officers. They were F-16 pilots, they were navigators, there was a security police, and there was a nurse. And I was considered the weak link of the squadron because I was a civilian. And I went for 3 months, and I was right there with the officers and in their training. But some days we were blessed enough to hear speakers, and we went into this big room that was painted blue, and they called it the Blue Room. We had speakers from the Tuskegee Airmen Institute. We had the Vietnam vets, and they talked, and there was a prisoner of war, and this was from Vietnam, and he talked about things that he went through that I won't go into. It's horrific. It's horrific. And also there was a speaker that was in the war, and he actually was blown up. And so he couldn't walk very well. Lots of burn damage. And he was actually a motivational speaker for the military. And he was so proud and so honored to represent our country. Yes. And that I will never forget. So the thing is that when I was in that blue room and we had all these speakers, I had tears dripping down my eyes to hear what they went through. And so I would turn my head and I would look, and all of the officers, not one tear, very strong, very courageous, and just listened with intensity. And where I was more passionate and thinking, oh my goodness, I don't know if I could do that. And then when I talked to the F-16 pilots, they have to go through pilot training, and I won't go into that much, but they actually are dropped off on an island in the middle of nowhere, and they go through some pretty intense training that I know I wouldn't be able to make it through. So the more that I did with the military and understood what all of them and the families went through, I connected with them because I knew how much they did for our country. I also lived on several bases, and I got to know the wives, and a lot of these wives, their spouse was deployed, or they also called it remote, and they would be sent off. It could be a year at a time, and the wives were left, and I'm sure the men were too, but I would hang out with the wives and get to know about their kind of life, and they would have, some of them, 3 children, and they were running all over the place, and she had to go to the grocery stores, to the doctor's appointments, to the ballet lessons, to the softball lessons, to church, to when the car broke down. I mean, and I would sit there and I would just think, I would tell them, thank you so much. I admire you so much, and thank you so much, because you represent the military as much as your spouse does. You do everything. And so I got to know them, their way of life, what they had to go through, and I saw tears of missing their husbands, tears of being tired, just tired. So I got to also know the spouse's side of their story. But then I have to tell you, there was so many good times. We would have barbecues, everybody would bring covered dishes, because when you're overseas and you're on base, everybody comes together as a family, because we are all that we have. And we spent holidays together. We did things together. We went to the base theater, or we went to the base exchange or the commissary, and we would go out on the economy and do things together. But I will tell you, when somebody got problems or they needed things, everybody was there to support them. Everybody. And so my heart would just always think, wow, this is a family. A family. And I tell you what, they stay in touch with each other. And it would be so funny to watch everybody doing softball, volleyball. It would just be all these, and then tell their military stories, and man, they would just riv each other, and it was just a lot of laughs, a lot of good times, and I still stay in touch with a lot of my military friends. And again, they just became family. So there's good times too. But again, if you are not in the environment with the military, when people come home from war and they go through all these different issues with postpartum depression, or it's a lot. And so does the spouses. So it sounds like I'm just talking about the active military, but I'm also talking about the vets and for those that have passed for our country, because I know that all the military go through almost the same thing. So is the military a part of my heart and my passion? Yes. Yes. And I will always be a proud American. I will always stand by our military. I will always stand by our vets, and I will stand by the red, white, and blue. I'm passionate, can't help it. All I can say is you'd have to be there. So, okay, so let's see. I'm going to make a quick transition because I'm getting too probably emotional and maybe a little chatty and too outspoken, but yes, ma'am, I am. Okay, so let's talk about the giveaway. What's in the giveaway? Okay, so I also thought about July 4th coming up. And so I got signs that you could decorate with. The good old USA. And this is so cute. It really is. To decorate, hang outside. I love it. Hang on your door. And then also, I love, again, red, white, and blue. I love this. So if you give a present, decorate with this, or you can even decorate your home with this. You can make a DIY out of this. Okay, there's a lot of bikers, especially vets, that I would love for you to have these bandanas to represent the red, white, and blue. Yes, I love these. So it'll be the bandanas. And then this I actually bought as one because you need this as a set. So to sit, I think this would be great decorations for the house. And they do sit with no problem. So red, white, and blue. And then I actually got a wind spiral. And it says America the Beautiful, 1776. And I love the red truck with the flag with the dog. So, and the very last thing, the ladies and I decided, okay, we would get a $10 gift card from Dollar Tree so you could get what you wanted. So that is my giveaway. Okay, let's talk about the giveaway rules. It's open to the U.S. only. You must have a U.S. address. You must be 18 years or older. You need to like the video, and in the comments, use the secret word in a complete sentence, and the secret word is flag, F-L-A-G, flag. That's a big thing, isn't it? It's huge. I love it. If you are the winner, you will have 48 hours to contact me at bonniesbargains68@gmail.com or at my Instagram account, bonniesbargains68. And you need to, in the Instagram or the email, put your U.S. mailing address. You must be publicly subscribed to all 3 channels. Bootsie on the Beat, her name is Julie. Mary Catherine loves cats. And then my channel, Bonnie's Bargains. Guys, yeah, I'm still a little emotional. I can't help it. If you subscribe to me at any time and then unsubscribe to me, you will not be eligible for any of the future giveaways. If anything is broken, leaks, lost, stolen, or damaged, I cannot be held responsible. YouTube does not have anything to do with this giveaway. I buy all of my giveaway items. I'm not affiliated with any company. The giveaway is going to end on Tuesday, the 17th of May at 8 o'clock a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So guys, I actually wanted to show you my flag. So this is what my co-workers honored me with. And it is very, very pretty. And then there is, if you can see it etched in, it says, "We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." And that is by Thomas Jefferson. So, honor the flag, guys, because again, freedom is not free. Have a blessed day.